So Will Arnett, might have heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
He is an actor. He made a comment, or I would say more of a lack of comment, about his ex-wife, Amy Poehler, who's much more famous than him.
Yep.
You will definitely have heard of her. On his podcast Smartless that he hosts with Sean Hayes and Jason Bateman. And this is what he said.
Did you ever poo in front of Amy?
Are you looking for clicks?
No, I'm just saying.
Are you trying to get something that we can click around?
I always forget people are listening to this. Wait,
Me too.
but hang on. You were married to her, had 2 kids. You guys never went to the bathroom in front of
I'm
each other?
sorry. The question is, did I poo in front of Amy? And you're saying that I don't have manners? What are you talking about?
I think it's a good question.
It's not a good question. I refuse to answer it.
It's a cute question.
I refuse to answer that. It's
Did
none
you
of your
poo
business.
EWP? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I hope we have a very respectable guest
we
on
do.
today.
Well, let me ask you.
We do, and she's going to be outraged by this, by the way.
Do you know who else was in that room?
Who? Wait, do I want to know this? Who?
Because you know how they bring in like a surprise guest?
Yeah.
Amy Adams.
No, sorry. No, absolutely not. Amy Adams is better than that.
She comes in a bit later going, yeah, I can do poo talk.
But no, Amy, no. She's trying to be the cool girl. She's trying to look like she's chill.
I know.
Because she feels like if she acts weird around that, they'll be just like, oh, she's got no sense of humor. No, sorry. That woman's been through enough. She's already been passed over for 5 Oscars. Like, she has to always go and sit in that room and clap for someone else for decades and decades.
I know.
Absolutely
Poor
not.
thing. But the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I listened to this interview and it was one of those like pieces of celebrity gossip where I immediately became like just really fixated on, and I don't know why. Okay. And when I first saw this, I did actually read about it. I read about it on an article, and the actual quote, and this is the issue with like different mediums in media, because reading the quotes from this sound very like Will Arnett is a bit taken aback. He's very shocked by the question. Yeah. He's not interested. He's like quite annoyed with it. And then you listen to it and it's just like friends bantering, essentially.
I think it's been sort of made to look a lot more in like some media headlines or TikToks and stuff, a bit more of like a fight. Yeah. Like he was angry, he stormed off. And again, that is just how they talk. What I'm not loving at the coverage is the headline about the poo. And then the
Firstly,
men.
LV, you have to be clear that you hate.
I hate even talking about this.
You
I hate
that toilet talk.
Having this conversation. I know. I was hoping that no one would pitch that Olivia Rodrigo story this week about how she can smell her fans in the front row wearing diapers.
How crazy
And
is
I
that?
was like, so that they can stay in the front row and not leave, and she can smell it. And I was like, I'm like, if anyone pitches that to do on this podcast, I'm going to have to leave the room. I understand people go to the bathroom. That's fine. Keep it there. Why must we talk about it? Why must we discuss? This is, and also what I was saying before with the whole, it's like the poo title. I hate even saying that. The pictures of the men, and then a massive picture of Amy Poehler.
I know.
In the middle of all the articles, and every time people are putting up, because like we've only got the audio, people are putting up the audio over Amy Poehler's face, and she's like, "Sorry, I'm just over here on my award-winning podcast, which is all about having fun and a good time. I'm just trying to have a lovely chat with Greta Lee, who I think is her guest for this week. And then all of a sudden she's the poster child for poo.
I know. And like,
I'm not saying that again. Sorry, I'm out.
And like Will Arnett, even in a jokingly way, says she's going to be furious about this, because I think he could picture the headlines right now with Amy Poehler's face.
And they came.
And it is to be said that Will Arnett and Amy Poehler have said they are on good terms and they co-parent their kids.
She's been on Smartless,
She's been on Smartless. She's friends with both of them.
Yeah.
She was the one who actually messaged Will Arnett and Sean saying, "We've been nominated for a Golden Globes. Let's all celebrate." Yeah. And then she replied and goes, "I don't have Bateman's number. Probably for the best."
Yeah.
So they are on very jokey, fun terms, and they do talk well about each other when they do get asked a question. But they are at the same time very private about their divorce. Yeah. The reason why I became so fixated on this, and I kind of went into a big like whole deep dive of their history and their relationship, was because I was introduced to Amy Poehler genuinely when I was in my late teens, because I discovered Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
And I became obsessed with her the same way everyone became obsessed with like her humor and her vulnerability and just the way that like her whole ethos has always been, even before she had Good Hang, was to just make people laugh and like show positivity. And she does that with like her production house and everything. And then obviously when you become fixated on celebrity, you want to know everything about them. And then I found out that she used to be married to and shared 2 sons with Will Arnett.
Yeah.
And I also really liked him from Arrested Development. I thought he was really, really funny. And for me, in my head at that time, I was like, this seems like the perfect relationship.
Yeah.
Like these both really funny, successful people who like adore each other, and it didn't work out. And it was one of those relationships that just made me extremely sad because I didn't know anything about it. And then after this interview, I was like, you know what? I remember like being obsessed with this relationship. I'm going to dive a bit deeper.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, oh, this would have never worked out.
Really? Why?
Well, okay, let me take it back to 2000.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah.
So this is when Amy and Will first started hanging out because they were kind of in the same group. Amy was starting to get on SNL.
Yeah.
Will was starting to get like minor parts in TV shows. Will says in an interview at that time that she was actually on a second date with one of his friends and it didn't work out and they spent the whole night just Will and Amy talking. And then they started dating. They get married in 2003. Have you noticed I'm not looking at my notes?
Yeah, this is crazy. Emma hasn't looked at a note for 1
When
minute.
I said
She's
I
looking
went
right at
deep,
me.
I was just like going and then I was finding all these interviews and everything. They get married in 2003 and this is when Amy's on SNL, Will's working TV in LA. So they're having to move like from New York to LA to constantly see each other. SNL's on every single like Saturday night. So she can only see him like every 3 to 4 weeks in LA, and he was more doing the move to New York. Also, it's to be said that it was alleged that he had just gotten sober during that time.
Yeah.
It was alleged he had an alcohol problem and then he went to rehab. And so they got married in 2003 and they were dating publicly from 2003. Obviously, they were together till 2012, which is when they announced their separation. During that time, there were cheating rumors.
Yes, I've heard
that
this.
followed Will Arnett. The kind of rumors that kind of portray every man in Hollywood. Like he's a bit sleazy. He has a drinking problem. He's constantly pictured with younger women. 2013, Amy has a boyfriend. It's Nick Kroll.
Yes.
Weird pairing for me.
I don't know. Two comedy people, right?
Two comedy, but he seems like a bit more dirty comedy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Amy, she came up through like those comedy ranks, like, and she like her circle of friends, like they're all again those like women who work in comedy, SNL. I reckon they have a pretty loose sense of humor.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, and they're all kind of in the same circle. It was rumored that Nick Kroll and Will Arnett were not friends.
Right.
And that a character in Nick Kroll's puberty TV show on Netflix, Big Mouth, Will Arnett was the inspiration for that character. And it's pretty like gross, grotty character.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of like speculated on like threads and blogs that Will Arnett was dating younger women and was a bit of a sleazy dog. But that only became publicly announced by a celebrity.
Who? Why don't I know about this?
Megan Fox.
Oh, okay. Something about this is coming back to me now. Yes.
And his undoing.
Because she'll say anything.
She'll say anything. And his undoing was a little movie that he was in called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. This is all coming back to me. I blocked out everything about that movie because, as you know, I love the Turtles.
So
that movie did them dirty.
That movie was released in 2014. However, I did some deep diving and found out that the filming of that movie happened in 2013. So a year after Amy and Will announced their separation. To be said, they're still like officially together. Will Arnett was the one who filed for divorce in 2014. So Megan Fox was on Conan O'Brien. She was talking about the Ninja Turtles and he asked her about her co-star Will Arnett, and she says he hates it when I tell this story, so I'm going to tell it.
Oh, wow.
And she said it is in a kind of joking way. I don't want to like make this as like serious. And
it's joking but true.
Joking but true. And she says on the first movie, which was filming in 2013, that he would bring a different girlfriend on set, and she would say these girlfriends would get younger and younger and younger. And she, as a joke, said to Will Arnett, "Do you want me to ask craft services if they can provide Lunchables for your girlfriends?" And that was a whole joke on Conan O'Brien. But the fact that this was happening while they were like separated but not officially divorced.
Yeah.
And then Amy at the same time was dating Nick Kroll. She mentioned it in her memoir, which she released around 2014 called Yes, Please. It was also, that memoir is also, sorry, I'm like running all over the place in this.
No, I'm loving this history lesson.
Her memoir was also the first official time and kind of the only time where she does talk about the divorce. In it, she says, I am proud of how my ex-husband Will and I have been taking care of our children. I am beyond grateful he is their father, and I don't think a 10-year marriage constitutes failure.
Yeah, agree.
And she says that the only reason she doesn't talk about her divorce is because it's so, so sad.
Yeah.
But in 2020, Will Arnett dated Alessandra Braun, who was a socialite in 2020, and he had a child with her.
Mm-hmm.
There were rumors during that time that even though he had his first child with her, he was quarantining with Amy Poehler and their 2 sons because they appeared side by side for a Canadian television show.
Yes.
So there's been like all these rumors about him and like dating these younger women and just kind of being all, and I think now him and Alessandra have broken up. It hasn't been officially announced, but he hasn't been talking about her on the podcast. But there's also been rumors that Amy has been dating a lot of these prolific like comedian guys as well. And she talks about her and Seth Meyers have been paired together for the longest time. There are so many TikTok edits of them together.
They've never dated.
They've never dated, but
I really believe they've never dated.
I believe he's never dated.
They're just best
but
friends.
I believe that he's just been in love with her his whole life.
Oh, I
know.
think he's in love with his wife.
He's in love with his wife, but you can be in love with 2 people at the same time.
Well, yeah, I just think that he and Amy, because have you listened to him on her podcast where he starts talking about their friendship and he starts crying?
He starts crying. And Amy's like, yes, cry.
No, I'm not laughing at her crying. I thought it was the most endearing, sweet thing. He just loves her so much.
He loves her so much. And there's also been like so many male comedians love her.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd loves her. Adam Scott loves her. To the point where these rumors have fueled because they're like, why are all these men in love with her? And I'm like, it's Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
But what I find really interesting is that all the headlines I've seen about this podcast that has come out is putting Amy Poehler in the front and center of it because she is so private about her life. It has been rumored that she's dating a New York Times editor, but she hasn't confirmed that. And I think the whole, like doing this deep dive, for me, what I've seen is that Will Arnett have been dating like these younger women, but every man that has ever like met Amy Poehler has just become completely obsessed with her. And I think that is what's fueling these headlines is because she is so private, but everyone's like, we want her to be attached to this story because we never get anything out of her.
Yeah, exactly. Because she sees herself as the funny girl. She's like, I'm just the funny one. But I was like, no, the rest of the world sees you as the cool girl.
Yeah.
Like you're the cool girl that everyone wants to talk to, everyone wants to be friends with. Like in Mindy Kaling's memoir, she writes about like meeting Amy Poehler at SNL and just being like floored by her and like Amy walking her to drinks with everyone and just being so chill and like just walking around the party and everyone's like flocking to her. And then like her just being like, anyone's seen Arnett kind of thing. Like that's like her boyfriend at the time and everyone's just like, she's just the cool girl.
She is just cool. Even Seth Meyers said, he never said, was telling people I got SNL. He was telling people I get to work with Amy Poehler.
Yeah, I would believe that. I wonder how Amy Poehler thinks of these headlines. I think part of her is probably like, oh, whatever. Like, it's just a bit like weird. It's not salacious.
Yeah.
It's not salacious like anyone's sort of talking about their marriage or breakup or their kids, which I think she'd be upset about. She's probably just a bit like, why is my face on the front of every story? But also she has really drawn a line in the sand, especially in recent years, about interviews and about questions. Obviously, this is a podcast and they're friends talking to each other, but she has said multiple, and I've seen her do this on red carpets and she's talked about it on her podcast where if she doesn't want to answer a question, she's like, I'm not answering it. She just says, no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Like super polite and lovely, but any line of questioning where she feels she's been brought into something that she doesn't want to talk about, she doesn't want to touch on, she doesn't even want her face in the clip, she'll say, no, thank you. So I feel like she wants to say no thank you to this moment. Just be like, you guys chat, nothing bad, but also no thank you to me being involved.
Yeah.
She's also said on her podcast that when she gets asked questions now that she doesn't really want to answer in an interview, if it's an area she's happy to sort of like dip a toe in, she doesn't say no thank you. She's like, I'll just run out the clock and talk in circles and sort of move it away from the topic into something I want to talk about because she's basically like, I'm not spending a moment discussing something I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
And now her face is on the front of this bathroom story.
It's so true. I feel like she would have gotten around the bathroom story if if the headlines didn't skew the other way, which is the issue. We're coming back to the difference between audio and written. Like you can read this in a completely different tone of voice and think of it as something like super salacious.
Well, it looks like there was a fight over Will Arnett saying something like scandalous about being married to Amy Poehler. Instead of him just being like, dude, what are you saying? Like to his friend, like, what are you saying?
Yeah, and they are still all friends. Like Sean Hayes was the one who invited her onto the podcast.
Yeah.
Knowing Will Arnett will obviously be like so excited about it. You know what I really want out of this?
What?
You know what I want?
What?
I want a good hang with Will Arnett.
Me? Oh, I was just thinking that. I was
want it
just
so badly.
thinking that.
I think it would be so good.
It'd be so good on her turf in her room.
And just talking about the kids and like
Yeah.
dealing with like when they had to do COVID together.
I
and
know.
stuff.
I also just want to hear them gossip about all their friends.
Yes.
Like I feel like that would be a really good vibe. Well,
a
let's
good hang.
Yeah, a good hang. Some would say.
Let's make it happen. Or Will Arnett, if you want to like shoot your shot, come on the spill.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with Amy Poehler.
We'll hook you up with Amy, friend of the pod.